always do my consensus discussions in a circle because I want them to realize it's a different moment in our class. So some of the things I do for consensus discussions, there's probably a fairly long list, but the first thing is we talk about the fact that it's hard. And we acknowledge the fact that we've done a lot and we're trying to pull it all together and that this is a challenge. And I then always dive back into my norms chart and say, okay, so if we have to have this discussion and it's going to be hard and we're trying to summarize all of our ideas, which of these things are we going to have to like use or lean into or make sure we're a part of? And I should mention that before going to a consensus discussion, we know the question that we're trying to discuss. Like, we have probably said it out loud 12 times or 15 times, written it somewhere, put it on our notebook if we need to, stick it on a board, something. Everybody should know the question. And I even often will ask it again after we're in science circle. So we're here for this. What question are we trying to get to? But yeah, because if they come with nothing, their brains are going to be wherever they're at that moment. All right, so they're not easy. And usually the kids have either in their notebook or on some extra handout like artifacts that have led to this moment. And I want to make sure that they see those artifacts again, maybe even share and talk about them with others in some way, and then bring those to the circle with them. So nobody is sitting there with nothing in front of them. Like, they all can look down at their notebook or down at their lab handout or whatever it might be and have something to say. And I like to do that as like an individual review, a few minutes in a quiet space, some kind of shared review, which could be turn and talk to an elbow partner. Now get up and go find someone on the other side of the room that you haven't talked to in a while. Sometimes it's open this and leave it on your desk and we're going to do a gallery walk, but I put a requirement that they have to stay at each notebook for a minute so that they can't just like walk by, look, and leave where they haven't actually picked up on someone else's science ideas. So there's a lot of variations on that like review theme, but there's always some kind of a review so they're not showing up to the circle with nothing. Sorry. Yes, I will sometimes have kids come up and record for me. And actually, they love doing that. Like, they get so excited about, and they get mad at you if you like don't choose them, because not everybody gets a chance to come up and write or draw or whatever. So yes, sometimes I have kids do that in its utterly best form. They can sometimes even take over entirely, which is a miracle when it happens, but it's so fun to watch. And it can be as simple as, can you draw this while we talk? And they're very willing to do that. Looking at the images of the models that are in the teacher's guides can be helpful. I save models from previous years so I can take a quick glance back. Although I have learned I only save 1 year's worth because otherwise I would have mounds of chart paper. And I think especially the first time, having something with you that gives you the key points that you're trying to get to, because in the midst of a conversation with 30 people, you're going to lose track. And you can glance either at an image or a few bullet points that, did we get there? But equally, have those question frames that get kids to talk to each other or acknowledge each other. I'm not sure, and they can be two separate things, but the ones that get them back into talking to each other so that it doesn't become just no different from you standing in the front of the class and kids responding to your questions. It should feel different than that. I would say I use an overload of revoicing, confirmation, are we sure kind of moves. Like, so John just shared this, and can someone explain what he meant? Can someone even just repeat his idea? And is it all of our ideas, or is it John's idea? Or, Amy just shared this. Does everybody agree? Does everybody disagree? Is this real? Like, do we have anything to support this? Or how do we want to represent something on the model? Like, it has to go back to them often enough. Have a whole lot of patience because they never quite go the way you think.